All right, so let's dive into Star Wars Attack of the Clones. This is the chapter where things really start to heat up. We're talking forbidden love, a massive conspiracy, and the first real shots of a war that's going to tear the galaxy apart. It's a lot. So let's break it all down. So we're jumping forward a full 10 years from The Phantom Menace. And believe me, a lot has changed. Anakin Skywalker, he's not that little kid anymore. He's a powerful Jedi apprentice. But he's got a bit of an edge. And that political unrest that was kind of bubbling under the surface, well, it's about to explode, with whole star systems talking about bailing on the Republic. And any sense of peace we had just gets shattered the second Senator Padmé Amidala. You'll remember her as the queen from Naboo, lands on Coruscant. She's there to cast a super important vote against creating a massive army for the Republic. It's a move she thinks will prevent war, but it also paints a giant target on her back.
And boom, just as she lands, an explosion rips through her ship. But the person who dies? It's not her. It's a body double, a decoy. This immediately tells you just how serious the threat is. The Jedi Council has no choice but to step in. And who do they assign to protect her? None other than Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Padawan, a now very grown-up and powerful Anakin Skywalker. The gang's back together after a decade, but the circumstances, not so great.
And you can just feel the tension between these two from the get-go. Obi-Wan is calm, methodical. Our job is to protect. But Anakin, he's all impulse and arrogance. He wants to go hunt the bad guys now. He feels like Obi-Wan is constantly underestimating him, and you can see that little seed of resentment starting to grow. It's a huge red flag, really. So the threat doesn't let up. That same night, an assassin sends a droid right to her window. And this thing drops a couple of, let's just call them deadly poisonous space centipedes into her room while she's sleeping. It's classic nightmare fuel. But Anakin, ever the protector, senses something's wrong through the Force and literally leaps into action, saving her just in the nick of time. So what happens next? A wild chase scene through the skylanes of Coruscant. It's pretty epic. They finally catch the assassin, and just when she's about to spill the beans on who hired her, thwip, she gets taken out by a poison dart from a mysterious figure in the distance. They're left with nothing. Well, almost nothing. They've got the dart. Okay, next up, two different paths. With Coruscant being, way too dangerous, the Jedi Council makes a big call. They're splitting everyone up. And this decision is huge. It sends Obi-Wan and Anakin on two totally separate missions that are, no exaggeration, going to decide the future of the entire galaxy. So here's how it breaks down. Obi-Wan, the master detective, gets a clue to follow. His mission? Find out where that poison dart came from. Anakin, on the other hand, gets assigned bodyguard duty. He has to take Padmé back to her beautiful, peaceful home planet of Naboo and keep her safe. Sounds simple, right? But for someone like Anakin, being alone with the woman he's secretly in love with, that's a whole different kind of test.
And, well, what do you think happens? Away from all the Jedi rules and Obi-Wan's watchful eye, Anakin's feelings for Padmé just come pouring out. He tells her he loves her, which is a massive violation of the Jedi Code. Jedi are forbidden from forming attachments like that. But Padmé, she can't help but be drawn to him. And right there, this secret, forbidden romance begins. And trust me, the ripple effects are going to be massive.
So let's check back in with Obi-Wan. Because while Anakin and Padmé are falling in love, Obi-Wan's investigation is taking him to some really strange places. He's about to uncover a conspiracy that goes so deep, it makes the assassination plot look like child's play. So remember that poison dart? Well, Obi-Wan tracks it to a planet called Kamino, which is apparently famous for its cloners. Only there's a huge problem. When he looks for Kamino in the Jedi archives, the most complete map of the galaxy in existence, it's not there. It's been completely erased. I mean, someone literally deleted a planet from the records. That is a gigantic red flag that something very, very secret is going on. So, Obi-Wan follows his gut and finds Kamino anyway. And what's waiting for him on this stormy, water-covered planet is just unbelievable. It's an army, a massive army of clones, all grown and trained for the Republic. The Kaminoans are super casual about it. They're like, oh yeah, this was ordered for you guys 10 years ago by Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas. The name drops a bomb on Obi-Wan because everyone in the Jedi Council knows Sifo-Dyas died a decade ago. The plot just got a whole lot thicker.
And the sheer size of this operation is just insane. We're talking 200,000 soldiers ready to ship out immediately, with another million on the way. When Obi-Wan reports this back to the Jedi Council, they're completely stunned. They're like, "We did not order an army." It's a total mystery, and it confirms for everyone that this isn't just some random assassination plot. There's a much bigger game being played.
Okay, so it gets even crazier. Obi-Wan asks who the genetic template for all these clones is. You know, the original guy they're all copied from. And it turns out to be a bounty hunter named Jango Fett. And suddenly it all clicks. This is the guy who hired the assassin to kill Padmé. The bounty hunter he's been hunting this whole time is the source code for this secret army. This isn't two different mysteries anymore. It's one giant conspiracy.
While all this is going on, Anakin's having his own crisis. He's been having these terrible nightmares about his mother, Shmi, being in pain. So he and Padmé divert to his old home, Tatooine. There, he finds out she was kidnapped by Tusken Raiders. He races to find her, and he does. But he's too late. She dies right there in his arms. And in that moment, something inside Anakin just breaks. He's consumed by grief and rage, and he slaughters the entire camp. Not just the warriors, but everyone. It's a horrific act, and it's his first real, undeniable step toward the dark side.
And here we go, the beginning of war. This is where everything comes to a head. Obi-Wan finally confronts Jango Fett, and after a pretty intense fight, he manages to track the fleeing bounty hunter. And where does Jango lead him? Straight to the headquarters of this whole conspiracy.
The trail ends on the planet Geonosis, and there, Obi-Wan discovers the whole plan. There's a collection of star systems, a separatist alliance, and they're led by this very charismatic guy, Count Dooku, who, it turns out, is a former Jedi Master. They're building a gigantic droid army to go to war with the Republic. Obi-Wan manages to get a message out, but then he's captured. Of course, Anakin and Padmé get the message and rush in to save him, and promptly get captured too. So now all three of them are sentenced to be executed in a giant arena.
So there they are, chained up in this massive arena, about to become monster food. All hope seems lost. And then, a single purple lightsaber ignites in the stands. It's Mace Windu. He's brought 200 Jedi with him, and an insane battle just explodes. In the chaos, Jango Fett is killed, but even the Jedi are no match for the endless waves of droids. But just as they're about to be wiped out, Yoda arrives. And he's brought the cavalry, the clone army. This is it. The first battle of the Clone Wars has just begun.
All right, final section, a secret marriage. As this epic battle rages, the Separatist leader, Count Dooku, sees that the tide has turned and he tries to slip away, but not before a fateful final confrontation. Anakin and Obi-Wan catch up to Dooku, and we learn he was actually Yoda's apprentice once. Dooku is just too powerful for them. He handles both of them pretty easily and, in a brutal move, cuts off Anakin's arm. But just before he can finish them, Yoda shows up. We finally get to see the Grandmaster in action, and he and Dooku have this incredible duel. But Dooku, knowing he can't win, creates a distraction and manages to escape, taking the secret plans for some kind of super weapon with him. So as the clones load up onto their ships, ready to fight a war across the entire galaxy, Yoda says that famous line, "Begun the Clone War has," and you can hear it in his voice. Even though they won the battle, he knows this isn't really a victory. It's the start of something awful. But the movie doesn't end there, with a grand army marching off to war. It ends with something much smaller and much more personal. We're back on Naboo. Anakin has a new mechanical hand, and he and Padmé get married in secret. It's a total act of defiance against the Jedi Code, a promise they make to each other as this huge galactic war, a war they helped kick off, is just getting started. Think about it. In that moment, by choosing each other over their duties, Anakin and Padmé have basically locked in their destinies. And that leaves us with the big, lingering question as the credits roll. Is this act of love a flicker of hope in dark times? Or is it the single biggest mistake they could have made, the one that will ultimately doom them and the entire galaxy to darkness?